This podcast is brought to you by The Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. Usually when we talk about technology for seniors, it's all very, functional. Things like pill reminders, fall detection.
Right. Very practical stuff. Essential, but maybe not the most exciting.
Exactly. It can be a bit dry. But looking at the latest findings from The Senior Techie, we found something that just completely flips that script. We're not talking about safety. We're talking about this amazing collision between a 2,500-year-old Chinese tradition and the AI that's probably sitting on your kitchen counter.
It is a fascinating combination. We are talking about the game of Go.
The board game.
The board game. It's arguably the oldest board game still being played today.
Yeah.
And it's making this huge comeback with older adults, specifically because of things like smart speakers.
Okay, so I have to play devil's advocate for a second. That sounds counterintuitive. Go is so tactile. The feel of the heavy stones, the wooden board, that satisfying clack sound when you place a piece. If you take all that away and just use a robot voice, aren't you losing the soul of the game?
That's the first reaction, and it's a fair one. But think about the barrier to entry. Go is played on a big 19 by 19 grid. The stones are small, like buttons.
Right.
So if you have arthritis or maybe some tremors or just, less dexterity than you used to, trying to place a stone at intersection D4 without bumping the one at C4, it gets frustrating.
So a game of strategy becomes a physical challenge.
Exactly. And the Senior Techie really highlights how voice AI it becomes a kind of prosthetic for the game. You just say, place stone at D4.
And that's it. The AI does the work.
The AI handles all the precision, you handle the strategy. It just removes all that physical friction so your mind can really, work freely.
So we're using this super futuristic interface voice to solve a biological problem.
Yeah.
So we can preserve an ancient game.
And it solves a geographical problem, too. That's the other big insight here. The issue of isolation. Go is a two-player game. If you're a senior living by yourself in, say, Ohio, finding a partner who's at your skill level can be the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, you can't just run down to the Go Club at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night.
Exactly right. But the Senior Techie points out that these voice platforms, they connect to online servers. So you're not just talking to your device, you're actually playing a real person in Tokyo.
Or Paris, or anywhere.
Paris, yeah. All through that device, it creates a global common room right there in your living room.
That's a really important distinction. I think a lot of people assume tech for seniors just means, seniors talking to robots. But in this case, the tech is just the telephone line. The actual connection is human to human.
Well, sometimes it is a robot. And that's actually the third point the Senior Techie brings up, the cognitive workout.
The brain training aspect.
Right. But
I remember hearing that for decades, computers couldn't even beat a decent amateur at Go.
Yeah.
It was too complex.
That all changed a few years back. Now the AI is superhuman, but for a senior, what that means is you have a perfect training partner.
Oh, interesting.
It can scale perfectly to your level, and it's available 24/7. It provides this high-repetition mental exercise. You're working on memory, pattern recognition, planning ahead, all without having to wait for a human opponent to be free.
It's like having a mental gym that never, ever closes.
Precisely. It turns that smart speaker from something passive, tell me the weather, into an active tool for keeping your mind sharp.
It really does challenge that whole idea that technology always kills tradition.
Does.
In this case, the tech is more like a life raft, saving the tradition for a whole new audience.
It's about adapting the tool to the person, not forcing the person to adapt to the tool.
So here's a thought to leave you with. We've just talked about how voice AI can unlock a game like Go. What other tactile, complex traditions? I don't know, maybe something like knitting or even genealogy research.
Yeah.
Well, what else is out there just waiting for the right voice interface to make it accessible again?
That's a fantastic question to think about. A lot of possibilities there.
This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to keep up with their newsletters, you can subscribe for free by going to theseniortechie.com.